A steady stream of traffic is making its way into Gisborne, where the first mainland sunrise should be seen. It's estimated about 600 vehicles are arriving in the city each hour. Our reporter Bob McNeil has fought his way through the crush to join us now. Bob, hello. Is everything on track for this evening?
Well, John, it's estimated that there are about 25,000 visitors in Gisborne for the Millennium. But the city's looking in pretty good shape to handle this influx and to make sure that the celebrations go off without a hitch. It's rocking today with still 12 hours to the new Millennium. In the main street, the celebrations seem to have started early.
Happy New Year.
Time did stand still for a short period today when Gisborne's Old Town clock needed adjusting.
When they count down, it gets to the 0, the clock will strike, and that will be the new Millennium. Fingers crossed.
The time couldn't pass quickly enough for one young Gisborne resident. Early tomorrow morning, 10-year-old Danielle Kilpatrick will perform for millions around the world with a dance group preceding the appearance of Dame Kiri Takanawa.
My mum, she goes, she thought it was like too early in the morning to do it. And so, I didn't hear her say that, and I just said, oh, that would be cool, me doing it. When I get older, I'll be able to tell all my grandchildren.
It's estimated around 100,000 people will see the new year in on the coast between Gisborne and East Cape. The mass migration isn't bothering Gisborne Police, who brought in extra staff.
We've brought in an extra 140 officers to assist us. We have an establishment already of 100 officers. So here tonight we're going to have around 250 extra police staff to help us just deal with the day-to-day policing of Gisborne.
After the dawn ceremony, the Prime Minister will address the nation from Gisborne's Te Poho o Rawiri Marae. The local iwi are determined there'll be no repeat of Helen Clark's tears at Waitangi.
We've talked those issues through, and because we're honoured to have her, we're really bending over backwards to provide an environment where she'll feel safe.
At this time of year, most people are making New Year's resolutions, but I'd like to do just one more silly thing before the 20th century ends. And what could be sillier than booking a passage on the Titanic? So for the last time this year, Bob McNeil, 3 News.
You're a fool, Bob. Bob, you mentioned Helen Clark's visit to Gisborne. She's got a busy night ahead of her, hasn't she?
She sure has. The Prime Minister's got a really strenuous New Year's Eve. After attending the concert at the Auckland Domain, she'll board an RNZAF Hercules at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. She'll fly to Gisborne, and here she'll transfer to an Iroquois helicopter. She'll be flown to the foot of Mount Hikurangi. She'll be driven up there in a 4-wheel drive vehicle for the dawn ceremony. Then it's back down the mountain into the Iroquois, back to Gisborne. She'll arrive back here at about 7, and she'll just have time to freshen up before she addresses the nation at 8 o'clock.
Bob, tell us a bit more about her marae visit. Helen Clark's been concerned about security, right?
That's right. We all remember her tears at Waitangi about 2 years ago. She did express concern about security here with the local iwi here in Gisborne. She wanted an assurance that she'd be safe on the marae and that she wouldn't be heckled. Now, she's obviously received that reassurance, but it's interesting to note that in the Gisborne area, women do have speaking rights on the marae.
Ngāti Parae, the glorious Bob McNeil in Gisborne. Thank you very much indeed.
In the capital city, stages are also being set up, children being rehearsed and fireworks being readied at sea. It's likely to be the biggest party the capital has ever seen, and it kicks off in a couple of hours.
Right now, the stage in Frank Kitts Park rings to the sound of construction. In 2 hours' time, the beat will change, and the sound system, lights, projection screen and steel structure will see the park transformed. Last-minute glitches long forgotten.
The wrong piece of equipment, a plug and socket don't work, those sorts of things. Sort of little things that completely stop things until we rush off and find the missing bit or work out another way of doing it.
Across the other side of town, a schoolboy rehearses for the Dawn Festival of the Children.
I'm Alexander Metcalf Wilson. I'm 12 years old and I go to Kelburn Normal School here in Wellington. I would like to make this gift to the city of Wellington.
Like all events, it's been months in the planning.
The banners started months ago, the schools that made those. The composition for the fanfare was written way back in the middle of the year. The dancers have been working on the concepts, a design concept by Philip Markham. Was lots of thought about picking up the global idea in an abstract way.
In the harbour, the replica of Captain Cook's Endeavour will be taking part in a theatrical display that includes a spaceship arriving and $50,000 worth of fireworks. But not all the celebrations are open to the public. Our place will become a private place tomorrow for the official Millennium celebrations. Diplomatic staff and their families will join with the Governor-General to watch the dawning of the new Millennium. A new piece of music by Gareth Farr has been specially composed for the event. The official ceremony will be broadcast by TV3 at 7:15 in the morning. Jill Newland, 3 News.
One of the more mysterious ceremonies to farewell the 1900s will be taking place north of Gisborne at Mount Hikurangi. Gideon Porter is our reporter on the spot to witness a special ceremony unveiling 9 giant Māori carvings. Gideon, good evening to you. Yours is the toughest site to reach.
Yes, good evening, Carol.
Hello.
The stage is set for what's expected to be a uniquely Māori and deeply spiritual event here on Mount Hikurangi. About 500 people have made the journey up here. We're more than 1,000 metres above sea level. It is a 9-kilometre journey from the base of Mount Hikurangi to here. Most people decided to come up by vehicle, but some people thought the event was so significant that they chose to make the gruelling 9-kilometre trek up here. However, as I said, most people chose to be transported up here by 4-wheel drive.
Come around the back here, jump on.
All aboard for the trip of the Millennium, rides up Mount Hikurangi provided by the local iwi for visitors who came from around the world.
We wanted to do something special, so we thought we could come here.
We want to see the first sunrise indoors, so we think this area is the correct area.
While most chose to go by 4-wheel drive, some felt the significance of the event warranted a 9-kilometre trek.
It's to show that we still have it in us old ones, and we do it the hard way so that the younger ones will remember, yeah, that's the way Nanny did it in the old days.
Up to 2,000 people are expected to see in the new Millennium on Mount Hikurangi, the spiritual high ground of the Ngāti Porou tribe.
It will be inspiring to be here on the top of the mountain celebrating the new Millennium, chanting your own poetry in your own language, and as the sun rises over the mouth of your river.
A small army of personnel has been called in to oversee the Hikurangi Millennium event.
There'll be two cablers required on this camera, roving camera on this side, and there'll be 2 cablers required on the roving camera on the other side.
All aimed at giving an estimated worldwide audience of 1.5 billion people an early glimpse of the 21st century.
Gideon Porter from Mount Hikurangi. In the news ahead, more on New Year's preparations, this time in the South Island, and a spectacular minty Millennium moment in London. Its showpiece won't be ready on time.
And coming up at 3 Sport tonight, can Chris Cairns back up for the one-dayers? Also, Keith Hobbs' call for the first Group 1 race of the new century, and the Magnificent Murrays, a Kiwi couple with real stamina.